So a student mentioned in class this morning this error that they were having, and they were kind enough to send me the code and allow me to record this so that everyone could benefit from it. So it was a kind of a strange error, I have to admit. It's one I hadn't come across before. If I come down to the package manager console here, the issue was that when they went to add a migration, they were getting a very strange message, right? So I'm just going to put in the command here. So I've just unzipped the code as they sent it to me. I haven't changed anything. So we'll add a migration for their catering context. And bada boom, that we're getting parameter builder value cannot be null. And I went all the way through it, and there was nothing in any of the feedback here, even doing dash verbose, right, which is an option. You can then get much more detailed information about what goes on, adding dash verbose to your command. And it didn't really tell me, I have to confess. So I tried a couple other things and compared code and whatnot. And eventually I figured out what the problem was. So I want to share that with you. It's a mistake that anyone could make. So remember how we put our one-to-many relationships in place in terms of the properties. There's three properties usually involved, right? The only one that's absolutely required is on the child side of a parent-child relationship, or the many side, if you prefer that, of a one-to-many. You actually have an object of the type that the parent is, right? So function has got two parents in this arrangement, right? So fortunately, yep, we see here there's the customer, right? And there's the function type. So those are the two objects right here that we do need. But along with that, okay, we usually have as well, we add as a property in the class on the many side of the child class, we add a property that corresponds to the primary key of the parent, right? It has to be the same data type. And following our naming convention, if it was just ID in the parent, then we use the name of the actual foreign key object with ID added at the end, right? So this is good here. So we have the function type ID, except for one thing. Look at that, the data type. It is a int, and that was the problem, right? So, basically you have the two things. You have the object, okay, which is the parent type, and then you have, using the naming convention, okay, in this case, integer, okay, with the same name as the object with ID added at the end to follow our naming convention. But of course, the data type matches the data type of the parent. So if I come over to function type, okay, this has followed the suggested approach of having a primary key, a simple integer ID, just called ID, right? And then now that should solve that one. Now, same thing for customer here. We have customer ID, the correct name. We don't need any of the annotations to indicate anything, but it does need to be an int. Now, the only thing I would do, the order of properties, yes, it doesn't really matter, but I would prefer to see this down right above the customer object, right? Keep them together. It makes finding things. In fact, it threw me a little bit. I think I might have found it earlier if it was arranged this way. But eventually, I did notice, and with that change, right now I can go ahead and let's bring up our package manager console. I'll just do a build. Always a good idea, especially if things didn't work last time. All right, so let's bring up our package manager console again. I can rerun the same command using the up arrow. I get the command back again. We'll run it again. Okay, and it worked, and we have our migration. Now there's a warning here about the version being different, right? Actually, that's something I did discuss with a student earlier, the fact that they created the project using an older version of Entity Framework, right? And so easy way to fix that as well. Now you see our migration still worked, but the easy way to fix that would be to come into the NuGet Package Manager, manage NuGet packages for solution. Now you could either take this one back, right, to match the others, but typically we're safe to just go to updates, select them all, and we'll update them to the same version, 7.0.11, right? And this will actually get them all in sync now. I have to click OK and apply and I agree, et cetera, right? Oh, I guess I only did one. Okay, well, I'll do them all now. Oh, it's still busy. Hang on. Okay, I just had to click update again. So they're all updated now, so it doesn't show anything listed in updates. Going back to installed, you can see right here, they're now all on the same version. By the way, I'll emphasize again, I want people, don't expect every package, okay, in the solution to always be on the same version. These ones usually will be, okay, and probably should be, but often we're going to add other packages to the system that are on a totally different versioning numbers altogether. So don't always, expect everything to be on the same, but these ones we should be able to do that with. All right, so that is addressed. Really, the issue was not that, it was the actual problem with the foreign keys, right, inside a function that we were using instead of the actual integer for the two foreign key values that get stored in the database. We had the object name there, and that's what was causing the problem. Hopefully that's a help.